we had such a candid conversation about how the culture of hockey used to be partying after every single game, and now the guys are really prioritizing the rest and the health. And I don't know about some of the players on the teams that we both cover, but
Hmm.
I feel like I have seen that shift. And you've been covering teams in the NHL for years now. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that because I thought it was such an interesting thing that he said that with all the research that's been done with alcohol consumption, all of the bad things for your body, players are now prioritizing, hey, I'm not going to go drink after a game.
Yeah, Riley's smart. I mean, he's gone through all this. He has a cannabis company. He does good things with that. He's done the research and he on himself too. Like he was a guy that put his body through a lot, being an enforcer, right? So yeah, I think there is something to be said about that. I think, we've seen a fair amount of unity on the Flyers with these players, and I do believe that, like with Florida as an example, they were saying like pretty much every game they were having dinner for like 40, like it was everybody. And so I think that if you keep doing that and you keep having the bulk of your players, at dinners whenever they can, I think that's a big deal. And so, like, if you're including the players and other personnel and stuff that are allowed, some teams don't allow it. I think you get a fair
Yeah.
amount of you get a
Yeah.
fair amount of unity, and so that's a good thing. And I think teams are getting more focused on that. And I think the Florida Panthers are kind of teaching them.
And it's such a cool thing for me whenever the Blues come to Philadelphia where I live and I talk to the guys and Ryan Suter, I know I bring him up all the time on this podcast because
Hmm.
one of my favorites. He literally said to me, "Where's the best place that I can get a cheesesteak because some of the guys and I want to get one
Ah,
after practice." And it was such a cool thing to hear because him being an older player in the league, I'm sure that he's endured some of the partying days that used to occur. And and I know cheesesteaks were maybe not the healthiest thing for these players, but the point is that they're doing things that are not drinking. And of course, you're going to drink and celebrate like after you win the cup or, a series
hmm.
if the Blues do that. But I do think that the culture is changing a little bit.